When I think of that week when I first met your dad, it was just one of those golden times in a person's life, you know, when you just wish you could put it under glass. I was 39 and Dad was 33, and I was newly single. I had just completed my book on Josephine Baker and had gotten the second part of the advance and was just sort of in a whoopee mood. And so I went to the Thursday night cookout at the Wattawanna Club. And I was making my way over to where they have the drinks up on the terrace and the patio or porch. Anyway, and of course surveying the scene. I see Lucia sitting next to a very good-looking man. And so I circled once, and she didn't look up, no response. So I got my drink, I circled twice, nothing. When I circled the third time, she said, "Lynn, I'd like you to meet my brother." And so apparently I made an impression on him too, because he asked me out for the next night. And the next night we went to a wonderful party over by the Velvet Mill, given by Leonard Lewin, who has a long sweeping lawn. He was married to Eve Merriam at the time, the poet. And so after this fun party, featuring all the usual suspects in Stonington, Dad drove me down to the point, and we stood out and we looked at the star-filled night, and he asked me to marry him. And since I was newly single, I said that I really needed a break between husbands. But I said, "I'm having a party tomorrow night, why don't you come?" And so he showed up early at my apartment on Trumbull Street and said, "What can I do?" And I said, "Clean the bathroom." And he said, "Little did I know." And so during that week, I had a friend who had helped me with the Josephine Baker book, an African-American named Helen Sweets, who was a lot of fun and caused a bit of a stir, which I don't think she would have today at the White Club, but this was many years ago. And so the liberals were doing cartwheels trying to befriend Ellen, and the Republicans were just sort of holding their breaths. So Ellen was going off having her own round of a social life while staying with me, and I was off with your dad, and we were getting to know each other. And so your grandparents invited me to the house, and I had the instinct impression of being looked over from the top of my hair to my toes. And so then what ensued was a 2-year courtship. But during this time, your grandparents became worried that maybe my intentions weren't honorable. Maybe I wasn't interested in marriage. So they took me to lunch to pump me. Well, your grandfather, Tony, was profoundly hard of hearing. And so he kept saying, "So, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?" And so for him to hear me, I yelled, "We're thinking of getting married." Well, the entire restaurant made up of Stonington people stopped. And the word was out. And the rest is history.